As an employment lawyer, I see people lose their jobs over simple mistakes all the time. And one of the biggest minefields is your work email. You think it's just a conversation, but your employer sees it as a legal record. So in this video, I'm breaking down 4 specific emails you should never ever send from your work account. For each one, I'll explain the hidden legal trap and show you how to protect yourself. So let's get into it. Before we begin, this is not legal advice. I am an employment lawyer in Washington State, but this video is for education. Your situation is unique, so talk to a lawyer in your area. Okay, let's get into it. The first email you should never send is the one where you complain about your boss in a way that gives you zero legal protection. This usually happens when you feel like you're being targeted. Maybe your boss is micromanaging you or treating you unfairly, and you feel like they're retaliating. So you send an email to HR to report it. But here's the thing, the word retaliation has a very specific legal meaning. It's not just your boss being a jerk or targeting you. Legally, retaliation is when your employer punishes you for engaging in something called protected activity. So what is protected activity? Well, it generally falls into 2 buckets. The first is complaining about discrimination or harassment based on your protected characteristics, like your age, your race, your gender, your religion, or your disability status, and other things like that. The second is reporting other illegal conduct, like your employer asking you to commit fraud or stealing your wages, or ignoring major safety violations. If your complaint isn't about one of those 2 things, it's considered unprotected. An email that just says your boss is toxic or unfair flags you as a problem employee without giving you any legal shield. You're basically just announcing you're unhappy without having any legal rights to back you up. Now, I want to be crystal clear. This is not about making something up either. But if you genuinely believe the unfair treatment is because of your protected status or because of protected activity, you have to say so in writing in order to get legal protection. You have to connect those dots. The second email to avoid is the emotional defensive response to a negative performance review. This is the email where you think you're defending your reputation, but you're actually just handing your employer the keys to build their case against you. When you get a critical write-up, your whole strategy matters. In the meeting itself, your job is to listen and stay calm, even if you're furious. Don't argue, just gather information. And if they ask you to sign something, ask for more time. If they force you, write next to your signature, signing to acknowledge receipt only, I do not agree with the content. Then comes the email. This is your official written response, and it is critical. Instead of an emotional rant, your email needs to be professional and factual. If there's any truth to the criticism, acknowledge it and briefly state how you'll improve. But where the feedback is wrong, you correct the record calmly with evidence. You don't just say you're a liar. You say, to provide some context on the point about missed deadlines, my work is often dependent on materials from other teams, and as my previous emails show, there have been several delays on that front. And if you think the write-up is retaliation in the legal sense we just talked about, you state that professionally. For example, I have to note that the timing of this review is concerning, as it comes just 1 week after I submitted my formal complaint about harassment. This will create a powerful record for you, not for them. The third email you never want to send is the vague message about health problems. People do this all the time because they want to protect their privacy, but in doing so, they accidentally sign away their legal rights. I had a client with a diagnosed medical condition that caused severe debilitating panic attacks. He missed a meeting during one and told his manager he was dealing with some anxiety. They fired him on the spot for being unreliable. And when we fought back, the company said they had no idea he had a medical diagnosis. All he said was he was feeling anxiety. And that's not a legally protected disability. Here's the trap. Laws that protect workers with medical conditions only kick in if the employer has notice of the medical condition. If you just say, I'm not feeling well, or I'm dealing with a personal issue, you have not given them legal notice. They can claim they had no idea, and then fire you for the symptom, like missing work or being late. And it's much harder to prove it was illegal discrimination. To get protection, you have to be explicit. You don't have to share all of the details, but you must tell them it's a medical condition or diagnosis. For example, I was absent yesterday because I had to go to the hospital for my diagnosed medical condition, and then say whatever that medical condition was. That sentence gives them legal notice. Now firing you looks a lot less like a response to an absence and a lot more like a response to your disability. And the final email trap is basically any personal email you send from your work account. You have to operate under one simple rule. You have no right to privacy on your work computer. Your employer owns the computer, they own the network, and they own the email system you are sending these emails on. They have the right to read every single thing you write on that computer and in those emails. People forget this and act like their work email is their personal inbox. They vent to a coworker about their boss, they manage their side hustle, they forward jokes, sometimes inappropriate jokes. And the most common and dangerous way this plays out is when you use your work email for a job search. This hands your employer a get out of jail free card. Let's say they want to fire you for an illegal reason, like because of your age, for example. They know they can't say that, so they look for a legal reason. They search your email and find you sent your resume to a recruiter. That's it. They've got you now. They can now fire you for that, and it becomes incredibly difficult for you to prove it was really about your age or other discriminatory reasons. You personally handed them the perfect cover story for their illegal actions. Okay, so what's the bottom line? Don't send vague complaints. If you have a legitimate claim of illegal conduct, state it clearly to make it a protected complaint. Don't send emotional rebuttals. Respond to criticism with calm, objective facts. Don't be vague about your health. Give your employer clear notice of a medical condition if you want legal protection. Don't treat your work email as private, ever. Now, I'm curious, what's the #1 email mistake you see coworkers making all the time? Let me know in the comments below. And look, knowing what not to write is half the battle. The other half is knowing what not to say. That's why your next step is to watch my video, Never Say These 4 Things at Work. I've put it right here on the screen somewhere, so you can click and continue learning how to protect yourself at work. If this was helpful, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I make videos about the laws that protect workers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.